Today's Daf is Masechet Nazir Daf Tezayin. So we're at the top of Tezayin Amid Aleph, the first line where the Gemara says, "Va'amar lei Rav Yosi Koi Kavasei." So we just finished bringing at the end of Tezvarim Beis. The Gemara was bringing a raya that Reb Oishia also holds that according to Reb Yosi, the Tumah that is Chala Mafreya is only the Rabbanan. And therefore the Gemara wanted to say that Reb Yosi would shtim with Shitas Rav. So it's really coming originally that Rav said that the reason that Abba Shaul holds that if you have a seventh day before Yantef of Shiva, it's Mavatal, the Gzeras Shlishim, if Yantef comes in the middle, is because that the Yom Shvi is Oila Lakan or Lakan. So that was the concept that the Gemara was bringing right to Rabbi Yosi, and the Gemara ended up saying on Tezvarim Beis on the bottom, the last thing the Gemara said, also Rabbi Yosi holds like that. And the Gemara said, Manashach Isasar Kulu Sasar, if it's Saiser, then let it be Saiser. Everything, if it's not Saiser, it should not be Saiser. So the Gemara said that it would shtim taka that if you say Miksayim Kakuloi, and you only come Kana Lahabo, and Mashinga the first day would work for Shiva Nikim, and Mela would not be Saiser Shiva Nikim. And that's Pshat. So Zakti Gemara, Va'amar lei Reb Oishia, Va'amar lei, and Reb Oishia told Reb Yochanan, Reb Yosi Kai Kavasech. He told Reb Oishia, told Reb Yochanan, that this day you're timing that it should not be Saiser. This Reb Yochanan told Reb Oishia, and Nister Ela Yoimai, that is going to Shitas Reb Yosi. Da'amar Mekana Lahaba, Betame, and that's Reb Yosi that says that a Zava that Yishachar Pesach on the seventh day, and then he sees Zoiv, he's part from making Pesach Sheni. So Zakir Mar of Reb Yosi Lemafreya, he does say that the Tamei Mishra Mishra Lemafreya. So Zakir Mar al Karchach that Ma'ila Mafreya is only the Rabbanon. This Reb Yosi said the Tamei Mafreya is only the Rabbanon, but the Raisa not, because it works Mekana Lahaba. So Zakir Gemara, Reb Yosi and Shitas Reb Yosi Michti. Savar Miksayim Kukulai. So let's say Zakir Gemara. He holds that Miksayim Kukulai, and therefore, if part of the day was Tara, it's considered that he had a Tara day. So for Gemara, it was a Shver, because Zava Gemura that sees 3 days, which is someone that sees 3 days Ritzufim. The Maisa carbon, Chagavna Zava Gemura brings a carbon. Heichemishkach Asla. When do you have such a din? Because Kevin the Chazav of Palgadiyim, since they saw a dam in the middle of the second day, so it becomes Tommy Mikam Elach. But for Gemara, how's it ever shaykh to be a Zav Gemura? Why? Because Kevin the Chazav of Palgadiyim, right? So let's say you had the first day, so dam Tommy, fine. So it becomes Tommy, right? So now then the Shemeras Yom Keneged Yom, you have to have one clean day the next day. So what happens like the Gemara, Idach Palgadiyim, the next day, the first half of the day, she didn't see any dam. It was only the second half. So the Chayr Salok Lashimer, it should be considered Shemeras Yom Keneged Yom already because she had part of the day that she did not see dam, the first half, let's say. So the Chayr, it should come out before Rabbi Yosi's Shita that you should never be able to have a Zav Gemura and should not be. And then how's it Yitzuri that you have a carbon? Normal, Zava Gedola is Chayav Karm, Zava Katana, which Shemeras Yom Keneged Yom is not Chayav Karm. For Gemara, the Chayr has a Shaykh. Zak the Gemara, Ibo Yisayim, if you want, I could tell you that we have Zava Gedola, the Kashafa, Tlasa, Yom Bahadi Adadi. That she was mamish being Shefas Dam for 3 days straight. So there wasn't even a point in the day where she stopped. Let's say that happening. So that's one Teres Zak the Gemara, I could tell you. If you want, I could tell you another way you have Zav Gedola, the Chazia Tlasa Yomi, Sam Chlishkias Chama. That she saw Dam 3 days close to Shkias Chama. So she saw the first day close to Shkia, and then it continued on into the night. So Kumtai, she saw in 2 days already, because it happened right before, it started before Shkia, continued into Shkia, got dark, and the whole time it never stopped. And then the same thing, you could say the end of the second day before Shkia, and then continue into the night. At that point, let's say it takes an hour or whatever it is, so that's enough. You don't have mixing and kukula, because as soon as the day starts, which is nighttime, right? So she already saw down. There was not a moment in the day she didn't see down. So Zakta Gemara, the loyav shahos. In this case, he did not have the solakal and minyan. He did not have mixed sayayim, which should be able to count for a day of the hira, because as soon as the day started, which was after Shkia, she already saw down. Okay, so that's how it's yitzur. Hadran Allah Hareini Nazir. We have a new parak now. Okay, Zakt the Mishnah. So this Mishnah is going to discuss, Misha Amar, is going to discuss the time that he's supposed to do taglachas, and others are supposed to do taglachas and bring his karbanos at the end of his nazirs. Zakt the Hilig Mishnah, Misha Amar Hareini Nazir. If somebody says, I want to be a Nazir, but it does not say the days that he wants to be in the Nazir. So halacha is Nazir Shleshim Yom. He does it for 30 days, and he brings karbanos. Megaleach Yom Shleshim Ve'echad. The 31st day, so on the 30th day he brings karbanos. On the 31st day he's going to on the 30th day he's going to be melech, and on the 31st day he's going to bring karbanos. But Megilach Yom Shleshim. What happens if he I'm sorry, I don't know if I confused that. Okay, no, 1 second. So he's noyig shloshim yoim, and then he brings karbanos, and then he does giluach on the 31st day. Okay, we talk to Mishnah Vayter. Vim gilach yom shloshim. What happens if he did it on, he cut his hair on yom shloshim? So like the Gemara, yatsa b'di'evet, he's like the Mishnah, yatsa, he's yatsa b'di'evet. Because since he was noyig mitzvah sayayim of shloshim with ziris, he could bring his karbanos and finish his ziris, because it's as if he already did the whole 30th day. What happens if somebody says he didn't just say Haredi Nazir, he said he's going to be a Nazir 30 days. The halacha is he has to do 30 complete days. In that case, if he cut his hair on the 30th day, then he's not Yaitza, because he said specifically in Nazir Shleshim Yom, which is 30 complete days, and he would not be able to work with the din of mixed Sayyid Kukulai. Because that's what you would have to come on to. However, it was excluded when he said Haredi Nazir Shleshim Yom is Mashma Shleim. Zokt, the Mishnah Vayter. So the Mishnah is going to explain when is the time for Taglachas and Avos Kavanas, when somebody is neither two Naziris. So Zok the Mishnah, Misha Nazar Shtei Naziris. If somebody says Harei Alai Shtei Naziris, halach is Megalech Zershena Yom Shloshim Ve'echad. So he does the Geluach on the first one on the 31st day, like a regular Naziris Stam. V'Sashniya Yom Shishim Ve'echad. And the second one he's going to do the 61st day from when his first Naziris start. Why? Because as soon as he finishes his first Naziris on the 31st day, that day starts the second one, and that's considered the first day of his counting a second Naziris on the 31st day. And then when he finishes on the 60th day, then he could cut his hair the next day on the 61st. What happens if he's Megalech his first Naziris on the 30th day? His Yoytze B'di'evet in Israel. Then he should do the second one on the 60th day, because it's Miksayim Kuloi, and the first day of Shloshim, and the 30th day that he finishes Naziris, that was already considered the first day of a second Naziris. So therefore, in that case, he could be Megalech the second Naziris, the 60th, rather than the 61st day. V'mgilach, in that case, v'mgilach yom shishim chaser echad. If his megalech is here on the 59th day, which is the 30th day for a second Naziris, in that case he's Yatza. Why? Because it mixed us a Yom Kakulai. So that would help it to be that he's Yatza Naziris. V'zakta Mishnah, v'zu eides heyed Rabbi Papios. And this aids Rabbi Papios witness on Misha Nazar Shtei Naziris. If somebody has noticed two Naziris, and Megilach is Rishayna Yom Shleisha. If he's Megalech, the first one on the 30th day, Megalech Sashnil Yom Shishim, then he could do the second one on the 60th, Megilach Yom Shishim Chaser Echan. If he did on the 59th, he's Yaitze. Why? Because Shayim Shal Shleishim Aylam Not Minyan, because the 30th day it could count for the end of the first Naziris and the beginning of the second Naziris. Zakta Mishnah Vayter. Now the Mishnah is going to discuss a Nazir that becomes Tameh on the last day of his Naziris. Misha Amar Areini Nazir. If somebody says Areini Nazir and is not saying amount, Nitmi Yom Shleishim, what happens if he becomes Tameh on the 30th day before he got a chance to bring his Karbanos? The halacha is Seiser Akal. It's Seiser all his days in Naziris, Deraisa that they counted. And after he becomes Tar from his Tumah, then he can bring a carbon Tumah, and he has to start again counting 30 days. That's the Shittas Tanakama. It's only, he doesn't have to count his whole Naziris again, it's only Seisel Shiva, 7 days. So he has to wait 7 days till it becomes Tar, and then they spritz at him, Shlishi and Shvi, and at the end he brings his Karbonis B'tahayru. Zaktu B'shavayter, Harein Nazir Shloshim Yoyim. If somebody says Harein Nazir Shloshim Yoyim, meaning specifically 30 full days, and the one in Pasnas like Nitma Yom Kakulai. So what happens after Nitma Yom Shloshim? If it becomes Tameh on the 30th day, Allah is Seiser Sakal, because he did not finish his Aziris. So he's going to have to do the whole thing over again, the whole 30 days. Zaktu Elam B'shavayter, Harein Nazir Meri Yoyim. If somebody says he's a Nazir 100 days, the Allah would be that he has to megalech and bring his karbanos on the 101st day. Zakta Mishnah Nitmi Meya. What happens if he got Tameh on the 100th day and he still did not finish his year? So Allah is Seiser Akal, and after he becomes Tar, he starts again 100 full days. Rabbi Lezer Omer Eini Seiser Elo Shleishim. Rabbi Lezer again says, just like I said before in the last case, that over here says why? Because somebody that becomes Tameh in the last days of Naziris does not count again 30 days. Because it says on Parashat Nazir, V'zer Teres HaNazir B'yom Elosim in Israel. And we dash from this pasuk that if it becomes Tameh B'yom Elois, in the day that it's actually finishing his Naziris, which is the 30th day, then we give him a Teres Nazir, that he has, that the pasuk is telling us that he gets a stam teres nazir, which is, and now he has to go back and count. He gets a stam teres nazir of 30 days. And even if his nazir is 100 days or 200 days, it's not slice of the whole thing. But like the Mishnah Nitma Yoimei Ve'echad, what happens if he becomes Tameh on the 101st day before he brought Karbanos? Seiser Shloshim Yoim. So, I'm sorry, this is a continuation. Rabbi Lezer says, so the Tanakama said, everything. Rabbi Lezer says, only says Shloshim Yom. He has to count again 30 days, but not 100. What happens? He got Tameh the 101st day before we got a chance to bring Karbanos. Allah says Shloshim Yom. So, it's, okay, so apparently, this is all Takanas Chachamim. Rabbi Lezer says again that it's only Seiser Shiva. Okay, so let's see the Gemara. Let's talk the Gemara. The Mishnah said, Misha Amar Areini Nazir, V'nitma Yom Shloshim, when it comes Tameh on the 30th day, halacha is Seiser Zakol. It's Seiser everything. Rabbi Lezer Omer Eini Seiser Shiva. So this was actually the This is the third to last case in the Mishnah, where the Mishnah said, if somebody says Hareini Nazir and becomes Tamei in the 30 days, so everything Rabbi says is only Soiser Shiva. So Zak the Gemara. So what's Pshat in Rabbi Lezer? Why does Rabbi Lezer say it's Soiser Shiva? Why does it not say? Why does it not say everything? Just like what is Nitma Teichem in Israel. It's like the Gemara, Kasavar Rabbi Lezer, Kol Achar Malois. Any Tuma that happens after it's finished his Yemei Nizroi, and even though the last full day didn't fully pass, it was still in the middle of the full day, Shiva Sai. So Allah is, it says Shiva, and you have to wait until he becomes Tar, and then he brings his Karbanos B'Tayr. Zok, the Gemara Vayter, the Mishnah said, Hareini Nazir Shleishim Yoyim V'Nitma Yom Shleishim. If he says I'm Nazir for 30 days specifically, and then he becomes Tamei Yom Shleishim, Allah says Sako. Zok the Gemara, Loi Polar Rabbi Lezer. There's no machlokus over here of a lezer like there were in the other cases. If it says Sako, so it's a Shiva. Why? The Amar Shleim, because since he added on the word Shleimim, so it's as if he said already Nazir Shleishim Yoim Shleimim specifically. So therefore, it's considered that the Shleishim is considered Toichem in Israel, and it's not afterwards. And let's say so everything. So the Mishnah said, Hareini Nazir Meir Yoim and Itma Yoim Meir. If he says he's going to be a Nazir 100 days and he gets Tamei on the 100th day before Geluach, Allah says Sakol. Rabbi Lezer argues and he says, Ein Seiser Ela Shloishim. The Kulos like the Gemara, Ktavinam Ba Libu de Rapadar Amasna. Okay, so he's saying that the whole explanation of the Mishnah is going on what we said before. Daf Hein, Daf Vav, Gavin Machloks, Rapadar Amasna, Ayin Sham. So this Mishnah is going to discuss somebody who kabel himself as Zirus when he's Tamei. That he has a different din from somebody that becomes Tamei in the middle of a Zirus. Zok the Mishnah, Misha Nazar, somebody that's Mekabel Nazirus, Vuhu Beis HaKvaros. And at that time, when it says Hareini Nazir is in a Beis HaKvaros, and he's Metamet to a Meis, the halacha is Afilu HaYisham Shloishim Yoim, even if he stays in the Beis HaKvaros for 30 days, Ein Oil Lemon Minyan. His Yemei Tuma do not count for the minyan, and it's not considered Yemei Naziris. So therefore, Ve'eni Meir Carbon Tuma. He's not going to bring, after it comes Torah, he's not going to have to bring a carbon Nazir Tamei. Why? Because the Chiv carbon Tuma is only said in Nazir that was Torah became Tamei. But in this case, he was Nazar when he was still Tamei. He was in a Beis HaKvaros and he said I want to become a Nazir. So he never ever had a day of Zirus Tahir. So therefore it does not have the halacha that it doesn't have the regular halacha of a Nazir that it counts for days in the Zirus, and therefore he will not have the halacha to bring carbon also. Zok the Gemara, Zok the Mishnah. What's going to be Yatza if he goes outside the Beis HaKvaros and becomes Tahar? So Kumtais, he should have to start right away then, whenever that time is. Let's say it's 4 days, 6 days, or 3 days. He should have to start counting the Zirus B'Haira, the Nichnas, and then what happens if he went back into the Beis HaKvaros and got Tamei? So then, Oilun Loi, we count the days of between his Tefillah to making a return to the Beis HaKvaros, Minaminyan. We count those days because there were those regular Menizir's Gemurim, and therefore he brings a carbon Tumah like a din Nazir Shinitma, because in this case he definitely started his Menizir's once he went out of the Beis HaKvaros and got Tar. And then he returns, so it's like Nidmi Tachim Menizir side. So that is Shittas Tanakama. Rabbi Leza says, Loi boy bayayin. It wasn't said this halacha when he becomes tamei on his return, boy bayayin. Rather, it becomes tamei from the second day of Tahara. But if he goes in that day that he becomes tahar, he does not bring karbanis tama when he becomes tamei. It's like the Gemara learns out from our pasuk Shenemar, because it says in the case of Nazir Shnitmon in the parsha, Bamidor Parak Vav Pasuk Yudbeis Vayavim Rishonim Yiplu, that the first days are going to fall. So besides for the carbon tuma, it has to be also Seiser the days before he started counting. And we darshan that the din of Nazir Tameh was not said Ad Shehu Lo Yavim Rishonim, that he first has to have at least 2 days that he could be Seiser. But it becomes Tameh, and that very same day that he was Table, and then it's not Seiser those days. And he also does not bring a carbon Tumah. So therefore, Zak the Gemara, Belez is saying that you don't say that he becomes Tameh in that day he becomes Torah, rather it has to be at least the next day. So basically, Belez is just going back on the Mishnah. The Mishnah says that if he's Yatza and then he's Nichnas again, then it's Oilim and Aminyan. That's only in a case where it did not happen that same day that it became Torah. So like the Haley Gemara. The Gemara wants to know, the Gemara is going to discuss, somebody who comes Aziris when he's in basic Kfaris, is Aziris Chal. So like the Gemara. Itma, we learned advice. Misha Nazir with basic Kfaris. So he made a Kabbalah Aziris, and that time he was in a basic Kfaris. And his Tameh, so Rabbi Yechon Amar Aziris Chal, Rabbi Yechon, it's Machlekes. Rabbi Yechon said Aziris is Chal right away, and it's Asr Yain Taglachas. And if he drinks or he cuts his hair, then, or they warned him that he should not be a Nazir. The halacha is, he does not have to go and become himself Aziris, meaning after he becomes tar from his Tamah. Well, because he's already Chal on Aziris. That's what the Shittas Rebbeim. Aziris Chalav, Rishlak Shomer, Ein Aziris Chalav. It's not Chal at all, rather he has to go out and be Matar himself. Now the Gemara is going to explain the Machlekes in Yerich Rishlak, because of the Gemara. Rabbi Yochanan Amar Aziris Chalav, Rabbi Yochanan says Aziris Chal right away. Why? He holds that although when he's Tamei Aziris of Tahira cannot be Chal, however, Mitla Talia V'Kaima, it's sitting there waiting for the moment that he becomes Tar. So it came to Mashchat Tahira as soon as it finds a time that for an Aziris of Tahira to be Chal, which is after he becomes Tar, it's Chal right away without any additional acceptance or him saying anything regarding becoming an Nazir. Rish Lakish Amar says, "Ein Aziris Chal alav." It's not Chal at all because he made the neder while he was still Tamei, and therefore, Yihada Amar, if he become himself again Aziris after he becomes Tar, then Chal alai it's Chal. V'loi, if not, it's not Chal. So that's Pshat Machlekes. Rabbi Yechon Rish Lakish. So frankly, Gemara, Eser Rabbi Yechon Rish Lakish. Yechon asks Rish Lakish Mishnah. Misha Nazar V'hu B'Beisik Kfaris. So it says if somebody makes an Aziris in Basic Kfaris, Afilo Hayisham Shloshim Yayim, even if it stays there for 30 days, Ein Olim Na'aminin does not count towards the days of Aziris, but any man with carbon tummy who would not bring a carbon tummy. So Zakti Gemara, from the fact that the Mishnah said that he did not bring a carbon tummy, it's mashma that only carbon tumah who learn Maisi, he's not going to bring a carbon tumah. And Daf Kalagavi there, it's not Chal and Aziris. Ha Mechachal Yale. But, so it's mashma again that Daf Kalagavi carbon tumah, but Lagabe the Etzem Aziris, about that is Chal. Because if the Nazir is not Chal, then why would the Brisa have to say any may be carbon tumah? he's not a Nazir Bechlal. So Mozayin, that like the Gemara, Yechon is asking Rish Lakish, Mozayin Naziris is Chal, and that's why you have to tell me that it doesn't bring carbon tuma. So Zok the Gemara, that Rish Lakish answered back of Yechanan on Malay, Rish Lakish told Yechanan, this that the Mishnah says it does not bring carbon tuma. What the Mishnah means to say is any b'tayras tuma ve'eni b'tayras carbon. The Mishnah means to say that it's not b'tayras tuma, it's not b'tayras carbon, because since the Naziris was not chal, and even becomes tar, and then he becomes tamei, he would not become, he would not get malchus, unless he become himself specifically the Naziris b'tayr. So Zok the Gemara. So again, so that's machlokes of Yechon and Rish Lakish. We're bringing that Yechon holds the Naziris chal right away, and Rish Lakish says the Naziris is not chal right away until it actually happens. So Zok the Gemara. So that was the Gemara's raya. Rabbi Yechon was bringing a raya like himself that the Naziris is chal. So Zok the Gemara on Malay. Rish Lakish told Rabbi Yechon on. I'm sorry. So that was Rish Lakish's answer to Rabbi Yechon. He told him that the Mishnah says any mere carbon tuma. The Mishnah means to say it's not b'tayras tuma, it's not b'tayras carbon, since the Naziris is not chal. But if it becomes tar, and then it becomes, and it has the Naziris, and then it becomes tamei again, he would not get malchus, unless he's mekabel himself as Naziris b'tayr. Zok the Gemara weiter. Eisvei. Frek the Gemara. Rabbi Yechon asked the kasha on Rish Lakish. The Brisa says, Tesef the Perak Bey is halachates. Misha haya tamei v'nazar. If somebody while he was tamei made Naziris, and it's chal Naziris right away, the halacha is aser lig aleach. He's not allowed to cut his hair, v'lishas yayin tam l'mesim, and do all the things that he's not allowed to do. So frekt Rabbi Yechon on imgilach v'shas yayin v'nitul l'mesim. The halacha is already sevik zarbam. So frekt there, ya'amar b'shloima choyla. If you want to say that even while he's tamei, the Naziris betzim chal sahainu time in the sevik zarbam. So then you could explain Pshan the Tosefta, why the Tosefta says that it's safe for Gabam. Why? Because he's safe for Arbon, because he's over in Nasir and Isure and Naziris, so it's very understood. If you go with Rish Lakish that's not Chal Ma'aser G'Dabam, why would you get Malchus? The Chayr is not a Nazir at all. So I'm thinking more, no, it's not right, because Hacham Ma'askin, I can tell you, the Brisa talking about Beyoytzi v'Nichnas. It's talking about he went out of the Tumah and he went back into the Tumah. He got Torah in between. So Mela, you could say he was Makabal himself as Naziris again. And it became Tamei, so therefore he would get the Malchus, even if he's over on the Naziris. If he's over on the Naziris.